Hi, I'm Jimi Hendrix, and this episode is called My Utah Experience on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. I'm Jimi Hendrix, member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and Success, Confidence, and Thrive Coach. I believe there are patterns to help us to receive more, help us to live a better and extraordinary life. And I will give you some temporal and spiritual tips how to overcome these in this life. So if you come with me, I will show you these patterns. Get ready to walk in. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Now, you might think, what are you talking about your Utah experience? Well, I don't remember talking about it here last year. I know I did on Strenuous Life Radio, but I'm going to talk about it here with a different outlook. What does it represent to me? What does it represent to me? How about positive change? How about positive change? Why not? I mean, because seriously, alright, sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulties, but I'm going to get to these photos. And why? Because they are very important to me. Okay? They're very important to me. Okay, you're probably thinking, well, the first video I remember taking to me is me and my Texas Tech cap in the Salt Lake Tabernacle. Now, all honesty, my mother was right. My mother was right. I don't see any other person, any of the gentlemen down front in the tabernacle with caps on. Mama was right. It was the Reverend. Okay, so there we go. Sorry about that. I'm just keep on trucking. There was a picture of me and Dave, and then there was of course the picture of me out in front, and then a picture of us inside the LDS Conference Center. Oh, I goofed. So please be patient with me. So we're going to start out with, so we did the picture. We need to start from the beginning. It's a picture of me and my JR cap and my cane out in front of the South Jordan River. Let me tell you something. That place is beautiful. Breathtakingly beautiful. And seeing me out there walking the little path by the river, you don't know what that meant to me. And the fresh air up in Utah. And then there's a picture of me and Dave, you know. He's a wonderful friend of mine, Bishop Dave is. And his wife, Emily. And then there's me holding a box of cookie crumble. Look at me there. I needed a haircut. Thank goodness that they got me down. And of course a bottle of water. And then, I'm going backwards instead of forwards. Excuse me. And then the picture I love the most is me and Bishop Dave in the conference center. You guys, I'll tell you something. If you haven't been into the conference center, at Salt Lake, you need to come. Because even if you're doing when conference is not in session, I received a lot of wisdom. What does that represent to me? And on that, of course, now I realize I should know better the revelation that I received in there. The Heavenly Father is aware that there are some gospel principles that I cannot apply at this current point in my life. But He said to apply with whatever I could and support the church's view. Particularly as pertaining to families. Because, and I do support the ideal family. Even though I'm blind and have multiple birth defects and, known, yet known candidate for marriage, Not that can't change. But that picture, that represents a turning point in my life. And you may say, well, Jimmy, how does it represent a turning point? Well, you'll see. Because you see, it took that trip for me to cheer up. Because my sister and brother-in-law was like, hey, you need to do something to cheer yourself up. And there's even a picture of me outside the conference center, all dressed up, my alter ego, JR. Even had him do with us. Is that the same picture? Okay. I gotta do another frame here. And that's a video of okay, there we go, some pictures. And there's me riding the train from Utah to South Jordan. There's an inside joke between me and my mother because I had an imaginary friend in childhood named him Buffett, and one day a psychologist asked me how I was doing in school. I wasn't really in regular school at the time. They held me back 3 years because of my birth defects. But I said to the psychologist, Buffett, ride the train. So it's an inside joke between me and my family. And then there's me sitting by the fire at Bishop Dave's home. It was me, Bishop Dave, his wife Emily, and their 2 kids. It's so amazing. And you may say, well, okay, Jim. Well, sorry about that. Hello, this is... I forget some of these talk. But this trip to Utah, what did it teach me? What did it teach me? Sorry about having technical difficulties today. What did it teach me? One of the most precious things that I could think of. For one thing, not to be so flighty with the reactive culture. And yes, I am talking about, I wasn't intending on everything being about mental health last week. But the going and growing and drying and dying. To tell you the truth, before the trip to Utah last time, I was drying and dying. I'm kind of in that phase now, but that doesn't mean I can't get out of it. I mean, I want to do what I can. Part of it is, well, quite frankly, I love Utah. I remember when I came there, I begged Heavenly Father to let me move there because when I first saw South Jordan and Salt Lake, I fell in love with it. In a way, I wanted to finish my life there. I still will. Mark my words. I love that area. It's a beautiful area, guys. It's a beautiful area. The place, especially during the spring and the fall, I don't know so much of it during the summer, but it's so beautiful. The mountains and all the trees and greenery. I mean, it's so amazing. But even though I begged Heavenly Father to let me move, And even so, earlier this month, I was on my knees crying. Please let me move to Utah. I'm not getting what I need. I'm not getting what I need, Heavenly Father. Please let me move to Utah. And Heavenly Father would be calmly, and he said, Jimmy, I know you want to, but let's come up with a plan first, so that you can be able to at some point alternate between Texas and Utah, and be happy about it, and be able to know that I will spend my final days in Utah, and I want it to be with one of my closest friends. Now, of course, I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. I'm 54, my upline, Connie, bless her heart, she's like, Jimmy, I'm sorry, but in many ways, you're like a baby. And people might think, well, you get offended. Why do I get offended? So many people think I get offended. My best friend, Michael, said something about me, and people would expect me to be mad, and then I was like, but I would end up laughing. Because having been in the inner cities of Arlington, which is a stark contrast to the beauty and the peace up in South Jordan and Salt Lake, in the inner cities of Arlington, I was called all kinds of words. But here's the blessing, okay? Okay, here's the blessing. Listen to me. I've learned from Utah, God has a plan. Learn how to do it. Learn how to apply it. Many times when I get down in the mouth, sometimes I have to tell myself, Jimmy, why don't you listen to your own advice? Or better yet, Jimmy, why don't you go ahead and take a look at those pictures of you in Utah? And I want you to think about it, okay? Think about it. Because that trip taught me something. And so I came back, and, at first I was all happy. Well, I love Utah, but the Lord's calling me to stay. And then it wasn't a few days later, I started complaining to my father, and I was like, Heavenly Father, please, come on now, what's my purpose here? He said, you're about to find out. And that's when I ran into ACN. See, the trip to Utah taught me that some things, you can love many beautiful things up there in the mountaintop. Sometimes you got to get down in the valley and do the real work. And I know I've got a lot of outer work to do to get my business, but one thing I'm discovering in coaching myself, I've also got a lot of inner work to do. But Jimmy, this is supposed to be a business development podcast. What the world? You're talking about your trip to Utah. The trip to Utah was the catalyst to help me get to my purpose. Some people say, among my coaching calls, to make it to a catalyst to where your name stands for something. And I want to believe that, but my situation, sadly, not everybody in my family shares my last name. It's just me and my father. And he was disappointed because I couldn't produce him a grandchild. But I do know what it means. It means home ruler. Heavenly Father has a choice for everything. He has a choice in his own wisdom. If those of you in the restored church of Jesus Christ, You read in Doctrine and Covenants, if it be wisdom in me, I think you should pay extra special attention to those verses, shouldn't you? I mean, why not? It's very, very important. It's not something you want to sit and, fart around about. But the trip to Utah was one that helped me have some perspective. To cheer up and to realize, hey, I'm not alone. Now, am I saying is everything perfect? No, of course not. Of course not. It's difficult. It's difficult. But you know something? Sometimes we have to do the difficult things. We may want to do something. It's like me. I may want to go and move to Utah, and I want to desperately. But Heavenly Father knows that I'm not ready for that phase. But I do believe that there's going to be a day when it does come, and when it does, I'll be greatly blessed. Many of you know I'm wanting to be really officially a speaker and a coach, more than likely being a coach. And my plan is to get off SSI and be an effective businessman and make a difference in the world. I want to be one of those positive differences of a man that's blind. Not someone that's blind that has a mental illness that ends up in the hospital or in some home somewhere. A man that's blind who can form a community of people who can love and be loved. That's why I started this podcast of Empower Your Pattern. Help people love and be loved and make wise choices. Make wise choices. And, the Utah experience taught me, that, hey, maybe it's not to somebody else all the time to give it to us. Oh, listen to me. I call Social Security and all these places to get me some help for my business. I'm not expecting a handout. Oh, Jenny, we get over this money. You can do whatever you want. And then it's gone and nothing to sell for it? No. I want money to get equipment. I want money to start an LLC. I need money to get me some services around here in this house. You see what I mean? The trip to Utah gave me determination last year, just like I think it will again this year. And just so you know, a lot of the podcasts for this trip are going to be, some of it is going to be pre-recorded. Especially since I'm going to be moving about quite a bit. I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to podcast. And I'd much rather focus on my vacation. Okay, for next time, please subscribe, become a part of Heaven Realm. Until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams and take it. Please share this with Mama-san, Papa-san, and everyone. It's Jimi Hendrix saying, until next time, choose, act, and pursue happiness. Stick and stay and make it pay. Remember this, from the bottom of my heart, Jimmy loves you. I really, really love you.